Good evening. In this devotion, we will focus on how we can grow in our obedience to everything that Jesus commanded us. The first building block of our obedience is to keep our focus on Jesus. In Matthew 28, verse 16, we see that the disciples were busy worshiping Jesus when the Great Commission was given to them. In John 15, Jesus said that His word should abide in us. The purpose of discipleship is to become more and more like Jesus, and therefore our focus should always be on Him. Discipleship requires discipline, and because maintaining constant self-discipline isn't easy, we need each other. Followers of Jesus can help each other to keep their commitments and their healthy rhythms. Just think of how Paul encouraged Timothy in 1 Timothy 6 verse 14 to remain faithful without spot or blame until the appearing of our Lord Jesus Christ. Living together and taking responsibility for one another like this is the second building block of our obedience. The third building block is the structure that we build into our lives. In 1 Corinthians 9:26, Paul says, "I do not run like a man running aimlessly. I do not fight like a man beating the air. No, I beat my body and make it my slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize." Boundaries and structures aren't usually counted among our favorite things, but we need them just as speed limits and the rails around a baby's crib makes life better and safer. A Bible reading program or regular prayer meeting with a fellow believer can form part of the healthy rhythms or structures that I build into my life. Our community of faith is the fourth building block of our obedience. We are shaped by the community that we live in, especially if we feel loved, accepted, and affirmed in that community. In a time where we are so very preoccupied and focused on our individual preferences, we sometimes miss out on the growth that can be experienced when we give ourselves into close, intimate relationships with fellow believers. This is the expectation that is expressed in Ephesians 4 verse 13 that says that we will be built up together until we reach unity in the faith and in the knowledge of the Son of God and become mature, attaining to the whole measure of the fullness of Christ. Good evening.